I can hear you. Oh, that's sad. It's always something. I shut my car door
There we go.
and my door handle
Alright,
from the
so
inside.
see here
Like
we're at Martinsville. Current track length is 0.5 mile. The current track temperature is 88 degrees for the third time of saying. Weather outside is 79 degrees Fahrenheit with a 24% humidity, clear sky, 7 mile per hour wind. They do run a fixed set. They do get 70% fuel. They do get one fast repair and uno sets of tires. God, that's so small. I don't know how the hell I can read it.
70% fuel tonight here, Brian. Roughly anywhere from 100 to 115 laps of estimated fuel tonight, guesstimated fuel for these drivers here, depending on how hard you will be pushing. If they get long green flag running in tonight, it's Martinsville, so
Ain't gonna
it
happen.
is it's the treacherous paperclip. So more than likely, long green flag running here may or
What
may not
about
happen.
15 cautions at least at a 200 lap run? Hmm. That's just Martinsville in general. It's not this league. That's just Martinsville in general.
You guessed 15 cautions. I'm going to go with 12.
Huh. There they go, pussyfooting around the ring.
Oh, you're watching the tape delayed Monday Night Raw, eh?
Who else is out there? Jeez. The 73. I mean,
Chris Ostrander.
they should be alright with the small field they have.
How many do they have tonight?
I think 17. Yeah.
You haven't sent me the link yet, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I did. I've sent it. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, I'm gonna go over the
Dun dun.
starting grid
Dun
here.
dun.
So,
Okay.
so P1 would be Josh Farmer. Hey, look at that. P2 would be Brandon Moore. P3 would be Greg Elliott. P4 would be Chris Stang. P5 would be Avery McDonald. P6 would be Keenan Miller. P7 would be Kane Lee. P8 would be Jason Taylor. P9 would be Will Roberts. P10 would be Antonio Bonani. P11 would be Michael Carter. P12 would be Dwayne Furtek. P13 would be Adam Bolton. P14 would be Kevin Trzynski. P15 will be Michael Carter. P16 would be Nathan Line. P17 will be Chris Ostrander. So Ostrander is going to round out that the last spot there. Will yeah. It is Martinsville. We're going to expect to see a lot. So
We're expecting to see some mistakes, maybe a few cautions. Like Brian said, he's expecting to see at least 15. I'm going to say 12. Like I said earlier, I don't think it might be too drastic. But then again, it's Martinsville. It can be anything. You never know what you're going to get in this type of environment. This paperclip.
yeah, the old paperclip can be difficult. Different lift points will. We know this. It is Martinsville, so what else can we say? Hopefully it'll be a good show and we'll just go from there.
Who's your pick to win tonight, Brian?
Oof. Oof. Well,
Any one of these competitors can win
right.
in this league at this track. We feel like anyone that attempts to put down
I'm probably going to say be
any.
more.
Brandon is good at the short tracks. We cannot underestimate him at all, anywhere you go, but especially whenever it comes to rhythm and momentum. Greg Elliott, as aggressive as he always is, you never can tell with him. Josh Farmer is another one that it's almost, I feel like Greg Elliott could be like a sleeping giant, as they said about after what happened with Pearl Harbor. But you never can tell. You don't want to get caught up in anything too drastic too early here at Martinsville, but you just want to try to keep it to the finish as we're rolling through turns 3 and 4 for the initial start of this race here this evening. AMS Cup Series underway at Martinsville. Green flag. Everybody's going to barrel on into turns 1 and 2. First time of asking under speed. Green flag competition.
You see the Avery McDonald getting under. Who is that?
That's Keenan Miller in the 82.
Thank you. That's
You're welcome.
a lot of names to remember. Hanging side by side with the 44 is Jason Taylor. So far, Farmer still has that lead.
Trying to remember who won here earlier in the year. I can't remember. Or did they even come here earlier in the year? I think they did, right?
Yes, sir.
I just can't, for the life of me, can't remember. But Martinsville, very momentum, rhythmic based, only 6 degrees of banking in these corners, and the asphalt to concrete, back to asphalt transitioning can really get you out if you're not, careful, as we just see it there. The 91 coming around.
Got you loud and clear. I don't know why you can't hear Earl. Can you hear me? Did not hear him call that caution.
That is Lee coming around, and Antonio Bonini just kind of finishing him off there. That can happen so easily, just getting kind of finished off by a competitor, nowhere to go. So first caution coming out at lap 5, getting to lap 6, as we see on the replay. A couple of drivers up out of the groove. Roberts was one of them. So getting up out of the groove. Then coming up into turn 3, that transition, getting into the concrete, and it looks like right in the center of the corner, him and Avery were a bit in the... Indeed, I think Avery really just, nobody really at fault, just he kind of compromised himself there on the outside of Avery. Looking, that is, and then right in the center of the corner, I think he might have tried to throttle it up or something happened, and it just started to whip around on him right on the exit. So very easy to do, very, very easy. The center of these corners, the transition from the entry to the center to the exit, can be one heck of a weight transition, the weight distribution of the car, and it's very easy to do these things, really kick the car sideways just on accident, really. So, first caution of the evening. Will we get to the 15 count, Brian's prediction, or will we only get to 12? I don't know. I'm
starting to think that it's probably going to be under that. I was expecting a little bit more drivers, so that's on my end. I didn't realize how many curves they had, and
Even with 15 cars, though, in the past at Martinsville, we've seen plenty of cautions. So 17, just a couple more cars here. It doesn't take much, Brian. It's Martinsville. It's a very technical short track. Some drivers really want to sling it into these corners, and that'll bite you on the exit. So, got to be careful. Really have to be careful. This track is very old. Was established in 1946. It's been on the calendar ever since 1948. Never took it off. So,
So the pace car pulling down. And Farmer's going to take the outside wheel.
Green flag, green flag.
I feel like the outside would be the better place to restart in.
As you see on that restart wheel, the outside lane did stack up a little bit. Oh, there goes Will. Oh, sorry, Will. Your doppelganger there just kind of, I don't know what happened.
He had a twitch right in the center of the corner. The car just didn't want to keep turning, and he just had to eventually just go straight to the wall there. So with these Gen 7 cars, they can be a handful. You know exactly how much of a handful they can be. 3 wide for a moment, as we see some more just tussling with these cars these drivers are having to do. It's a handful, Brian. I'm sure you raced a couple of official races this past week, so... Well, at least one. So you know how tough even any given league race, any given day you have to race at Martinsville. You know how challenging it can be being a past winner at this track with either the Gen 6 or Gen 7 Cup cars. So you know how challenging it can be.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Last time I won at Martinsville was the COT configuration, so I can't talk.
Of course you can.
I mean, I can, but I mean, it has no relevancy to this.
You are an 8-time winner here.
Well,
Just like our deja vu at Las Vegas.
Well, yeah, let's not talk about that PTSD too much. So, you see good battles here.
And somebody else, I can't remember his name.
Oh, of course you can. Blue Becca.
Oh, alright, anyway. iRacing, we are now here. Oh, there's a bump.
Yeah, I was scrolling on I was scrolling through Facebook, and I saw on one of the pages I'm on.
Somebody's thinking Budweiser. I like that. That's a good one.
One of the community pages I'm a part of is like the one of the old console NASCAR console community pages. Brandon Moore looking to maybe take it a power move around the outside, but he gets caught out because Keenan Miller looking to the inside. Farmer did lock up, but he's going to be in both lanes there. He's really trying to defend that track or the track position as best as possible. I saw where there was rumors of maybe AKA coming back for the new console game, and I'm like, I'm all good. I'm perfectly fine doing this. No, I am perfectly fine doing this.
It's a lot better.
Yeah, I'm retired. 11 years to put into it was enough for me. I don't need no more. Not at the moment. Keenan Miller, man, looking for the lead here after just getting he's got some good speed at the moment. Oh, Farmer and Greg Elliott going to make contact. I don't know how. Farmer did not spin, but that was contact on corner entry. Elliott had a nose, and he was not going to let it go. And, man, lockups all around. You get a lockup, he gets a lockup, they get a lockup, everybody gets a lockup here at Martinsville. So, got to be very careful. It's so... Yep, go ahead.
You know, as well, these short tracks, you really ain't got much time pump those brakes when you need to. So that's why your eyes always got to be open and alert. You see there Will back up there, off pace there, doing the best that he can. I think he's hurt.
You know, Martinsville, after a period of time, wasn't really a strong suit of a track for me, like I just said. Anyway, but so I can totally understand Will's frustration, or maybe he was hoping to have maybe a decent Martinsville race, but that all went to the wayside like Mark Truex Jr.'s race did yesterday. So, great. But I was hoping he would win from the pole, but instead he came down pit road, got a speeding penalty. How about that?
He had two.
So, oh, two. I only knew about the one. Anyway, so more depression.
When, the second one was him leaving his box, and he had no clue on how.
Go figure.
And he goes, I'm going to try to censor it. I'm not going to say exactly what he said, but you can just imagine what he said being from the kid. He goes, I am so beep glad that this is my last season in these beep cars.
I can't wait till next year. Maybe he'll win some more Xfinity races, right?
He is a rocket man.
One, Anyway.
That's really nice to see that track back up and going again. I mean, they might as well. They repaved it.
It'd be cool to see, both the Truex brothers out on track at the same time.
So I think Martin in Phoenix,
in both
he's got
competitive cars.
Bass Pro Shops thing, like his
his championship. No, is it? Wait, I thought it was his championship winning paint scheme.
I don't think so. I think it's got like the DEI stripes on the side.
Are you sure? I thought it was his.
No. Hey, let me see if I can re-find it.
I thought it was his championship winning car with Furniture Row.
1 second.
Good battle, though, right now at the moment between Nathan Lyon, Josh Farmer, and Lee. That is 9th, 10th, and 11th, and Michael Carter is slowly coming up on the back of this. Carter also has Furtec in tow. So that's what's going on back here in the back.
Throughout the course of that last run, did you
and as we talk about it, oh man, that is so easy to do at Martinsville. Just get on the brakes, maybe a bit too. I'm going to have to get a replay of this because I saw it happen live on the stream, and I couldn't tell if he got on the brakes late, a bit, or maybe stabbed him a bit too good. He's trying to keep Farmer behind him. He comes off a turn 2 really well, too. He very straight off the corner, and then getting into, oh, man, it turned too good. I think that was the problem, Brian. It just turned too good for him going into 3. And, man, I've had that similar crash happen to me. So, like I said, I just think the car at that lap, because the previous lap he was doing pretty good. I just think right there, it just turned too good for him going into turn 3. Yes, Jonathan, I saw earlier you weren't going to be able to finish out the season. You'll be back next season, though. So, tough break for Nathan Lyon. Hopefully, Jonathan, we'll be able to see you next season a lot more. Like you said, it was very competitive this season. Strong competitive season.
Here.
And field as well. Yes?
No. There you go. There was this one. But it's always good to have you out here in chat, Mr. Mozilla. Always good to interact and see how your group is doing. Doing all right. Not too bad, not too shabby.
Oh, so it's basically like what Matt Kenseth and Dale Jr. did with their final ride at Homestead. That is really cool. I can't wait to see that on track. That maroon, it's basically like the Mississippi State maroon color. Like you said, it is just, that's his rookie car from his rookie season, yeah.
Because if you look at it, you can kind of see the DEI stripes.
Oh, yeah, you can, most definitely. I cannot wait. I would love to get a diecast of that because I've got his rookie car somewhere.
And why not go out with a bang? And I hope he does good at Phoenix then.
I was hoping he'd win in Martinsville like so many people had done before him in the past.
That car that he's running at Phoenix would be good to put in victory lane.
I mean, it would be cool because another JGR former driver won there for his final win of his career. Also, tidbit of information, Dale Jr. got his final win at Phoenix, too, of his career. Even though it was a rain-shortened race, he's still credited with his final career win in the Cup Series coming from Phoenix. So,
anyway, Chris Tang, Will Roberts, Elliott, Miller, Lee, Moore, Taylor, McDonald, Farmer, and Cochran.
Green flag.
At this restart at lap 38 of 200 here. Second caution of the night. So they're sprinkled a good far distance apart from one another. We're not having a breeding caution fest at the moment. Things can still change. It's becoming a bit overcast at the moment, Brian, so maybe that could cool the track down and make the track even more of a challenge for these drivers. Or it could just come into play right in how these drivers would want it to be. So different things to take into account. Kevin Trzynski is out of this race, unfortunately. He was not able to grid, so that's going to be unsettling for...
He was there. He was racing.
Well, he was...
He was the jockey fishing mobile. He was out there.
Well, yeah, I was just talking to him in the Discord, but he's out.
Yep.
Nathan Lyon, 4 laps down, getting his car repaired and whatnot, back out on track.
Fuck is a goddamn
Well, now we have another caution.
This last crash that I've had no idea what's going on.
So let's just walk back on. That'll do it. It doesn't matter what piece of machinery you're in, whether you're in the truck, Xfinity Cup, old Cup car, new Cup car, Gen 4 Cup car. It doesn't matter. Whelen modified, Mazda MX-5 Cup car. It doesn't matter. You hit that curbing here at Martinsville, you're going to get looped around, or you're going to... depending on what part where you hit it, if you hit it on corner entry, it's just gonna catapult you into the wall. So you gotta be careful. You gotta be very careful. Jason Taylor, Dwayne Furtick, Adam Boughton, the 3 cars to come down and pit at the moment. So. Did he already run that paint scheme? I guess that was Homestead, where he ran the Furniture Row championship-winning paint scheme, right? Was that Homestead?
Yeah, I think so.
Because he was supposed to... I saw a month ago, or a month or two ago, where he was supposed to run that paint scheme. That's why I thought whenever you were just talking to me about it now, I thought are you talking about that? But no, obviously not. So that's really cool. I can't wait for that. That's the only cool thing about this coming up weekend's Phoenix's race is that paint scheme.
Yes.
Especially after how everything unfolded, all the drama and just I agree with Jeff Burton's comment at the end of that broadcast.
I saw that thing with Ricky Craven.
Yeah, I also agree to about at least 90% about what Ricky said. I agree, especially being over Austin Dillon. I am over Austin as well. I am, So there's a lot of things I can agree with Ricky Craven about. There's a lot of things I can agree as well, with different things. So I'm a racing fan. I'm a racing purist fan, and I believe in all forms of motorsport. I believe racing should be racing to its hardest and fullest potential. And when you are not racing to that 110% rule, I don't care what form of motorsport it is. Just about every form of motorsport now has that racing to the 110% rule. If you do not meet it, then something goes wrong somewhere. And yeah, it seems about almost every year now something has to go awry. Coming back to the next restart, Keenan Miller has another good hole shot restart. Seems like the leader really gets good jumps here at Martinsville if you can just time it right. It's all about in timing.
That it is. You see Brandon Moore and Will Roberts working that outside lane. Chris Stang got way up there in the marbles.
Fastest lap of the race so far. We are almost 50 laps in, so almost a quarter of the way done with this race, Brian. And 19.568 is the fastest lap, driven currently by the Morton Salt driver of the 44 car of Jason Taylor. So he's currently in 11th position. He is 3 spots down from where he qualified, but he currently holds the fastest lap, which I'm sure later on in this race, that will... caution here. Chris Stang and Antonio Bonini has gotten tangled up together down here in turns 3 and 4. Let's see how it happened on the replay. Oh, Antonio got a nose underneath Chris. And Chris, oh, man. So... Will doing some evasive maneuvers. Everybody now going to have to do that. And Chris going to get high centered on the curbing, and Antonio kind of just straddles it there. So typical Martinsville, Brian. Somebody gets a nose underneath you. You really want to defend that position. You think you can come down, kind of chop the competitor's nose off, but he already had a bumper fender quarter on you, and then bam, like I said, just typical Martinsville racing. Like you're just trying to keep that track position, stay ahead, and do what you're trying to do what's right? And sometimes it's not good enough, and you just get wedged or moved or shoved out of the way, as that old famous race car driver said, "Hey, it's short track racing." So, yeah, I wasn't trying to name names, but Denny Hamlin,
That's your
greatest. No, it's not. So it's another. We all got marked safe, Brian, for Denny Hamlin not winning a championship again this year. So that's wonderful. I bet you he goes out and wins the Daytona 500 next year. It sounds about right. It seems about another Denny Hamlin 500. I wouldn't doubt it none. I would not be surprised that he might get 7 Daytona 500, wins, but never get a championship. I could see that. I could see him get at least 2 more Daytona 500 wins and not get a championship. I could see that. I don't want that to happen, being a fan, if I put my fan hat on, but, looking at it from a racing fan point of view, I can totally see that happening, because historically how well Denny can be at those tracks, and always tries to put himself in the right position, but it seems like ever since he won his last Daytona 500, he just can't seem to put himself in that position anymore, but history. Just keep waiting. Especially with these new Gen 7 cars, Brian, it seems like it's tougher and tougher to maybe put yourself in that situation, really. I don't know if it's just because the runs are harder to build up or what it could be, but yeah. All I know is whenever you go to these super speedways, Ryan Blaney, you got to get him out. Like, he is a threat now. Like, which nothing again. I'm just.
And I'm glad Blaney won. To be honest with you.
Oh, I mean, I would like to see a back-to-back champion in this playoff era format. I was hoping Larson could have done it, 2021, 2022, but
Green flag.
I was hoping he'd at least win back-to-back Coke 600s, but we all know how that went, Brian, that night, so.
Yeah.
Chase Briscoe had to ruin that for us. Anyway, back Green Flag Racing, lap 57. Chase Briscoe ruins a lot of things. Back racing here.
Actually, we're gonna need 19.
Well, are you going to be a Chase Briscoe fan now?
No, Blaney.
Oh, okay. Definitely going to be more of a Shane Van Gisbergen fan, especially now that I know that he's. I mean, the 88 was a number he had in supercar racing, just like the 97. So, I'm surprised they didn't get the 97 for Cup, but having the ties to Dell Jr., it's heavily rumored that Dell Jr. is helping Trackhouse have funding somehow, so I should be a sports journalist for motorsport with all the information, like how I get it, how I know, and I should be, but anyway, I'm not. It feels like general knowledge, but still some people are blind to it, and it's miraculous, Brian, how they say that they're fans of the sport, but yet they don't keep track of it.
Nope. A lot of people don't, unfortunately.
Caution. How about water pressure, temperature right there?
Now what happens here? No.
The rear kicks loose.
Very similar to what we saw in the first caution of the evening with Lee. Right in the center transition of the corner. Oh, but this time Chris takes a Richie Evans approach. Oh, man.
He's got a broke right front there.
Oh, most definitely. And Adam Bodden collected in this as well. So, sucks for Bodden. Bodden just trying to steer clear, stay out of the trouble, but he gets pulled right back into it. And, man, Chris just getting a bit crossed up there. Like I said, he has his own moment. Like you said, it just starts to whip around on him. He tries to catch it, but whenever he does, he could have put a bit too much steering back to the right of the car, and it didn't want that for sure. Overcorrection with these Gen 7 Cup cars is just enormous, Brian.
Yeah, brutal.
So now we're getting a bit of that caution breeding cautions. They're turning into mad rabbits here, so maybe it might go back to getting some logged laps in here in just a moment. So fingers crossed, toes crossed, all those other cross things. Even cross your legs. So at the moment, wonder what RMS are interesting.
Yep. Fifth caution of the night, Will. 66 laps in.
RMS, that's what the Titanic, Olympic, Britannic, so get off topic here. RMS was the three-letter designation or call sign for any Royal Mail steamship. So British ocean liners that carried mail or cargo from Great Britain to America or to wherever had that three-letter stamp before the name of the ship. I believe I got the abbreviation correct in saying it earlier, but Dwayne Fairtex, I'm assuming that's a race team, but I'm not 100% sure. But man, that reminds me of old ocean liners and such. So me being such a nerd with stuff, Brian, I can't help it. I know too much stuff about a whole lot of nothing, you know.
Yep, you know a lot.
Something.
Will.
I unfortunately do.
But it's useful.
Keenan Miller with another whole shot restart on this restart. So gets through turns 1 and 2 very handy dandy like, and has a good enough couple of car length separation. I always thought that the entry of both of these corners, turn 1 and turn 3, was where you wanted to be precise at, where you really wanted to try to hit your marks to get the car to at least maybe try to hit the apex of these corners. You don't want to actually hit the apex because, like we've seen earlier, there's curbing down there. There's a good I want to say it stands at least a good 6 inches to a foot up. You know, and that's how much of a rising it is, because like I said earlier, you can beat yourself. You can high center your car if given the right maybe car or angle that you park on the curbing. So, and let's not forget, in the B&R Cup Series Thursday, the old B&R Cup Series on Thursdays, the fixed side from last season. Got to remember, we saw a driver do a barrel roll here. He just forgot to press A to fire. So,
I know exactly.
yes, Tyler Myers. Oh, okay, my bad. Yes, driving the Cheetos car, I think, right? Anyway, so yeah, like I always tell you, Brian, unless something spectacular happened, like Josh backing into a win in Atlanta, literally, like, unless something majestic happens in a race, I'm going to remember it. Unless I raced it, I can remember everything. But unless, that's crazy how my mind works. I can sit here, watch these races, but like 2 days from now, I don't know what happened. At least it's a lot better than some people. Hey, it all depends. Like I said, I call so many of these races, it can be difficult to remember what happens one race to the next, I tell you.
But you're good with
Oh yeah, 75 laps complete. Oh, Will Roberts having a moment again further back. Last lap by, but he kept it straight, and we are not under caution, so that's fantastic. So all I saw was the 5-hour energy or the whatever kick sideways coming out of turn number 4 as the camera started to pan away. So good catch for Eagle Eye Will here. So.
Eagle Eye Will.
I never earned any badges in the Boy Scouts, so don't even know why I was in that. Oh yeah, I do.
3 wide
Anyway.
here, almost. They fall better. As Antonio's going to go underneath. Mr. Will there, trying to keep B11 away from him, but can't quite do it.
And they're just going to stay side by side. Oh, Bonini finally clears him. So Greg Elliott, Keenan Miller, Josh Farmer, Lee, McDonald, Moore, Furtick, Carter, Cochran, and Bonini rounds out the top 10. Roberts, Taylor, Ostrander, Boughton rounds out the cars left on the lead lap. Nathan Line 1 lap down after being, four laps down earlier. So slowly, maybe, possibly getting back on the lead lap. Next time by, we see a caution. Not next time by as far as lap, hopefully not. That'd just be ironic, to say the least. So I do not have the script. I thought Jeff Burton had the script last night because he accidentally fumbled and said, the script, the transcripted radio, and I'm like, whoa, Jeff, you got the script? Like if you were watching the post-race of the, whenever Jeff Burton said what he did about his opinion of the whole incidents. So.
Well, I think they get the transcript from every driver throughout the whole race.
Oh yeah. Like all the teams' radios and stuff, NASCAR always monitoring it, and it's open air radio now. Like fans have access to it and everything. So I agree with what they were saying on Door Bumper Clear. Like even if you say, hey, you cannot openly say this, they're still going to find ways around it, find code words, keywords, or different things to say, or it's still going to be talking points, right? Like my opinion, I know my opinion does not matter, I'm just a racing fan, but my opinion, if you just get rid of the playoff format, you wouldn't have all this jumping through hoop drama. None of this, he said, you would not, it would not basically be WWE at the end of the day. Because that's pretty much what it turned into when they introduced the playoff format, even all the way back when Nextel came into the sport in 2004, Brian. There was already an inkling of it, kind of going in the sports entertainment direction when we're going to take the top 10 best drivers, and there they go. It's going to get reset back to 1,000 or whatever. And we're going to take the top 10 best. It goes from top 10 to then we go to 12 whenever, okay, that one incident happens. We got to go to 12. We got to, put Gordon back in it because, he got wrong somehow. So then, a year or two later, they expanded to 16 drivers, and then, to me, when every other thing underneath the sun that has to do with motorsports starts doing V8 supercars down in Australia, they're not called V8 supercars anymore, but the supercars down in Australia, they have went starting next year, they will go to a playoff format. And I'm not a big fan of it. I'm just saying. I'm just putting that. I'm just putting that out there. I'm not a big fan of motorsports going to a playoff format is great with stick and ball sports or ball sports, basketball, baseball, football, even hockey is good with playoffs. We see how awesome hockey can be with playoffs, right? So I believe that's where the playoffs should stay, but that has not been the case. Drag racing even has playoffs. Oh man. Anyway, about to be 2/4 of the way done with this race, Brian. Approaching that lap, that centennial mark here, lap 100. We are 8 laps, 7 laps away from that mark. And Greg Elliott currently a bit dominant performance, kind of, but Josh Farmer, our pole sitter, trying to reel back in that first position. He's just got to get past Keenan Miller. The top 3 here, Elliott, Miller, and Farmer, have been, I want to say, the class of the field so far. Once we get to the halfway point, my opinion, just my strongly worded opinion of what we've seen so far in this 93 laps complete race, Lee has made a strong rebound in that 91 machine to be back in 4th position after bringing out the first caution of the race, Brian.
Yep. He magically found his way back up there, and there he goes, and now he's probably going to sit there for a bit, and these cars rely on the clean air. To where if you're in that dirty air, it handles very bad. I've been there, I've done it on both fix and setup side. These cars rely on the clean air, and they also drive off with the right front.
What's your favorite part, or what's your favorite thing, being a past winner here, it seems like Martinsville has turned into one of your favorite tracks to drive, Brian, just from watching you race it. What seems to be your favorite part about Martinsville, Brian?
I don't know, just on here, it's the way it handles. You really gotta, hey, you can attack the turns, but you gotta know your limit. And I've known to do that very well. Sometimes it'll bite me in the tuchus, but overall, it can provide good racing, and sometimes it can't. It just all depends on the group of drivers you have, and just the feel. You really got to have the feel for the car. Me, every race that I go into, I prefer a loose car. I cannot drive a tight car. Don't even bother putting me in a tight car because I can't do it. So every race I get into, I always drop my brake bias way down. It'll loosen it up a little bit, but enough to keep you stable. In Martinsville, you kind of don't want to be too tight.
Like you're talking about, you want that feeling of being able to turn the car into the corner, and it's going to turn when you want it to. If it's tight, you're not going to be able to have that nose turning into where you want it to. It's going to be a bit different, or maybe that rear end might feel a bit overweighted, perhaps. So, like what you're talking about, putting the rear brake into the car, you really need that sometimes to get the car even to turn into the corner for you.
Yes. And this track is more of a trail brake, not more of
most definitely.
You can. It's more of a trail brake and not just mass brake.
I mean, we've seen a lot of the real life telemetry, riding on board with drivers before in the past. Kevin Harvick, this is another one of the tracks that Kevin Harvick would sometimes just immediately let off the throttle or ease off the throttle at the start-finish line on the front straightaway, and then start trail braking like you're talking about going into turn one. So
Kind of like what
it is,
Megan's doing a little bit.
yes. No, exactly, yes.
But we can tell when people are using a lot of brake, because if you look on most of the cars, the rotors are glowing. That is a lot of heat building up in those rotors, which can get you to slide the tires.
Well, Brian, we're past the halfway point here, and I don't want to jinx nothing, but it looks to be a decent run going. Why don't we do a crank it up real quick? Green flag action pit stops happening for some drivers here. Dwayne Furtick just came down and exited pit road. Also, Bodden, Miller. I don't know about Nathan. I don't think Nathan's still one lap down. But what about Chris? Did Ostrander pit as well? I think Ostrander pitted.
Yeah.
So definitely going to have some tires with. Definitely going to have some drivers with some fresher tire, kind of similar to what we saw between Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson with the Cup race yesterday with tire differential. So you will see Furtick pounce and leapfrog some of these competitors that just have older tire than him. He might even be able to go around the outside on Cochran. No, he chose better of it. He couldn't get the deal done around the outside, so going to have to try Old Faithful, and he gets the job done on the inside. So Josh Farmer in a battle with... No, my bad. I thought that was Nathan. Well, that was Nathan, my bad. So Josh Farmer trying to get up to the back of Greg Elliott. Like I said, it was just a matter of time before he could get by Keenan Miller, and Miller was another one of the drivers that had pitted. So hopefully everybody enjoyed that Crank It Up. I enjoyed my bathroom break, so also panicked and that I lost my wallet. But hey, I don't know why. I've been having trouble forgetting where I put that thing.
I do it all the time. Horses when you lose track of your phone.
I almost never do that. Only whenever I fall asleep and I wake up and I'm like, oh, I was sleeping on it? Okay.
I've done that before.
Right? So easy
Now
to do. Michael Carter. Yes?
Does Elliott have to pit again and Farmer?
That's a good question, because the race went back green with well over 100 laps to go. So it really brings into question, burning just a hole in our ear, really, of just wondering, guessing, sitting on the kind of the edge of our seat of when, if, do they have to make another pit, or do they need to, right? Like you just said.
Now Josh Farmer ever so slightly closing in that gap on him, with Cochran fighting.
Caution.
Oh.
How was your forward drive there towards the end of that little run we just did?
Oh, this is a caution that I don't think no one wanted to see, because they really wanted this to play out for the final, 61 laps of this race. But Nathan Lang up the track. I got in on that replay a bit late. I'll see it from... Oh, yeah, he's way up the track in the start of the replay. He sponges off the wall on corner exit of turn number 2, gets down here to turn number 3. What happens? But is it Carter or is it Nathan?
Carter.
Now, this is fresh tires with Michael Carter. He is one of the drivers that... Oh, he had a lockup going into turn 3, locks it up, and sponges into Carter. And, who did that yesterday and bounced off of Cody Ware? Or, not Cody. Bounced off of, what's his name? He used to drive the 7, don't drive the 7. Corey LaJoy.
There you go.
So that's very similar to what we saw yesterday. I can't even remember who that was that bounced off of Corey. Oh, Christopher Bell. So, interesting. This will bring all the lead lappers in to question that we were questioning. Hey, did they need to pit? Now they do, and looks like some drivers might get the wave around, and also Lucky Dog. I think Keenan, first driver to get Lucky Dog back, I think. So 58 laps remaining, closing in on a third of the way done with this race, Brian.
Yep.
Only going to have a... Go ahead. My bad.
I said they were ticking away these laps.
Yes, indeed, sir. And at that rate, they could have got this race done and dusted, but only the sixth caution of the night. So they're really trying to stay away from our totals that we kind of put on that dartboard.
Yes, they are.
They said, "Will and Brian, hold our adult beverage, and we will try to not go that route."
But this
Because
is a lot better of a Martinsville race than most, that's for sure.
Oh, heck yeah. 200 laps in Martinsville, you know, 17 drivers to start us off with. You would have thought, hey, like you said, I'll say 15 cautions, one for each driver at least, you know. But these drivers, for sure, heck of some competitors here in the AMS Cup Series, and they can really get it done just about anywhere. It doesn't matter. Every league's going to have some bumps in the road, so to speak, but you get over it, you get past it, you get through it, for the most part.
Green flag.
As we're getting ready to go, green flag back in the air for the 7th time of asking. Or is it 8th? Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we are back racing again. I think it's 8 in total if you want to count the initial drop of the green flag. So anyway... Oh, Brandon going to get in there and make contact with Avery. I saw that coming a mile back. Oh, man.
Oh, quickly tell me about your car.
Brandon he was going to get into that corner so much better. So, like, he was really shooting that gap into there. But unfortunately, Avery was trying to shut the door, it looks like. Going to have a good view right here, this cam. So... Brandon already showing his nose, but he's way far back. He is far back, but he's going to be committed. He is committed, fully committed, full commitment here, sending it in the inside. Avery might have saw him making that peak, but nevertheless, you know, like I talked about and noted earlier, when you're the car that is in front of whoever that is behind you and they are trying to take that position away, you're just in defend mode. You were so defensive all the time here at Martinsville because you want to keep any type of track position you possibly can, and sometimes that's just the way she goes. That is how the tables turn here at Martinsville.
Oh yeah, Brandon just had a good entry going in, that's all that was. He saw the gap, he's going to take it. Which is any driver will, we know that. If you're going to come off the turn up by the wall and diamond it down, that car behind you is just going to stick to the low line. And unfortunately, that's the way Martinsville is. So now that put Nathan Line back on the lead lap. I guess while those still pacing, I'm gonna go grab me a beverage, and I'll be right back.
Okie dokie. About to be 3/4 of the way complete here, working lap 149 of 200. Seventh caution of the evening, so way low on the totem pole as far as guesstimated cautions go. And I don't really see getting really past 10 cautions. I think we might have 3 more, if anything, or we might not have any more. I mean, like I said, the way the AMS Cup Series competitors can be, this could be the final caution of the night. Like I said, you never can tell. Oh my, excuse me. Must have been some good supper I ate. But there's still 15 competitors out on track. We have Ostrander 1 lap down, Chris Stang 2 laps down. So 13 drivers still on the lead lap and still with a chance to win this race. Like I always say, as long as you're on the lead lap, you are in contention. You can fight for it. Doesn't matter what track it can be. As long as you're on the lead lap, I always believe you have a snowball's chance.
Green.
I'm glad I didn't finish that sentence. But we all know where that was going. So green flag is out. Back again here at Martinsville. Greg Elliott with a whole shot restart. We have seen every leader, doesn't matter who it is, do that tonight. Lee trying to fend off Farmer, but Farmer, he's
How's my radio been today? Could
back
you hear me, Clive?
again under caution. Not, let me see if, it happens back with Keenan Miller, and he's going to have a parking lot with him, it looks like, or just a bit of a congestiveness. I think he just got slideways and everybody kind of stopped and then they restarted. That might be why the caution came out. Once me and Brian get a handy dandy replay, once he gets back, we can see what transpired. But if we look on the track map, I think that's what happened. Keenan's dot comes to a stop and a couple of others come to a stop. So normally anytime you come to a stop on the race course, caution will fly. Replay here. And going through turns 3 and 4 on this restart, it looks like already Jason Taylor going to hop the curb as he gets underneath Antonio. So it's just a lot of checkup, a lot of checking up, and Keenan's going to hit the curb, and that's going to send Keenan around, ain't it? And yes, it will. That's what brought us out to be under caution again. And like I said, he slides, he comes to a stop. He most certainly does, because he gets basically T-boned. His left rear toe link is broken from that hit too. It looked like it was a bit weeble wobbly. So Furtek gets sent into him by Boughton. So brought to you by as they used to say, what brought you here? Well, Boughton. Who? Boughton. And almost kind of like that old now I can't think of those two comedians' names, but who's on first? What's on third? Well, who's playing short? Anyway, Abbott and Costello. There we go. I knew once I said the old running joke, the old pair would come back to me once I thought about it.
That does happen.
bag.
Oh, Farmer with a spin.
Farmer most certainly had a lot of wheel spin there. Roberts to his outside, going to be challenging, but he's not able to get the job done around the outside, so he's going to have to fall back in line. And Cochran and Avery had a bit of argy-bargy to the outside of turn number 2. Everybody's going to come up to Cochran now. Bonini, Botton's back to the fray. Here we go. Cochran trying to get away from these two. Up at the front, you see Roberts, he was another driver early on that was kind of just in it and maybe thought you won't see him the rest of the day, but he's back and up in second place. Brandon Moore just currently chilling, riding in 5th position. He's just trying to stay ahead of Jason Taylor, closest man on points at the moment to Brandon Moore. It's a tight-knit points battle, I tell you, Brian, going into these final few races in the AMS Cup Series Season B for the 2024 season.
Yep.
38 laps remaining. I thought I couldn't do. Oh, man, Lee with a moment coming out of turn number 2. How is that not a caution? But keeps it going straight somehow after ricocheting out of the wall. Don't know how that wasn't a caution, like I said before. So after all what we already have seen tonight.
Oilers rotor, Brandon, save.
What a catch, what a save, but now that's going to put him behind JT, and he doesn't want that. He don't want that at all, but he's going to have to dig, claw, and scratch to maybe get back ahead of him. But burning up those tires, really making those tires scream out of turn number 4, he's still struggling, Brian. Got him bottom, trying to go around the outside of the Dinosaur Sinclair machine, but can't do it. He gets crossed up and tight, like you talked about earlier, and that's going to hurt him. He's going to go back now a couple of positions as well. Back up at the front, it's still Farmer, Roberts, and Elliott. And that's the top three. Top three have a breakaway just over 2 1/4 seconds over Avery McDonald in 4th position. Our winner from, where'd he win? Darlington, Atlanta, somewhere over there. So, thank you. I knew it was somewhere, Brian. Avery trying to keep Jason Taylor behind.
But now this is going to start pulling Brandon back in.
It is. So these 4 cars, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th right here. McDonald, Taylor, Cochran, and Moore. All right here. This is the battle for 4th position, F1 style battle. Battle for the lead, though, is heating up as Doppelganger Roberts is right on the coattails of Josh Farmer. Josh Farmer and Roberts got away from Greg Elliott. Greg Elliott now a 2 1/4 down the road behind Farmer and Roberts now. So, which here at Martinsville, that ain't really a lot. A second here is not a lot of breathing room. 0.2 of a second is not a lot of breathing room either. That's what the gap is from Farmer to Roberts. 171 laps in the books here at Martinsville AMS Cup Series. About to be only 25 laps remaining in just a few more circuits. Roberts keeps giving a couple of looks to Farmer, thinking that he might go somewhere with it, but Farmer just able to get to the apex of the corner a whole lot better. That's what I talked about earlier. You have to hit these apexes if you want drive off. I don't say hit the curbing, but just hit the apex of the corner, Brian. You know what I'm talking about? Any other viewers at home, if, drivers that wasn't able to make it out tonight, you guys know what I mean about hitting the apex at Martinsville. You don't hit the curb, but just hit the apex of the corner. And then you should have good drive off if you've let it roll enough and keep it straight. Get back to the power. Don't abuse it. Don't stab it. Don't, just get back to the throttle. Get back to the power. And you can come off these corners nice and smooth. That's exactly what Farmer's doing every time. He's not twitching. He's not bobbling. He's not doing anything like what Roberts is doing behind him. Roberts almost like frantic, trying to even match the pace of Farmer at the moment. Farmer just looking nonchalant, very consistent, very key. Like I said, he is straight as can be coming off these corners. Roberts, on the other hand, he's twitching. So he can't quite get to the center of the corner. He cannot get the bite he's looking for, it looks like. He can out of turn 2 every other lap, but turn 4 still seems to be struggling. Turn 3 through 4 seems to be his struggle point. He's really attacking turn 1. 22 laps remaining. 23. My apologies. Like you said earlier, though, Brian, clean air is always key and crucial anywhere you go, but especially at the short tracks with these Gen 7 cars. Martinsville, especially another one of those tracks to where if you have the clean air, really makes your car feel a whole lot different. Both these drivers... Go ahead.
I wish Indy had lights.
Yes.
Because that's one race that would look good on the lights. NASCAR Thunder 2004 had the EA Sports plate system where you could unlock the plates. Oh, yes, indeed. Basically paint schemes, bonus tracks, fantasy tracks, and stuff like that. They had Talladega under the lights, Martinsville under the lights, Dover under the lights. At one, I think you could race Walking the Glen under the lights or something like that. But I really had a lot of fun with Talladega at night. That was so cool to me. Once I unlocked that and got to race it, there was like the cheat codes you could get for NASCAR Chase for the Nextel Cup 2005. You could get to where you could unlock all the plates and all the free fantasy tracks and everything. Oh man, Michael Cochran and the Sinclair machine. Oh, got tapped from Brandon Moore in Bonini. Oh man. Oh, he power drove that dinosaur into oblivion like he was. Some would believe that an asteroid took out the dinosaurs. It was the Great Flood of Noah's Ark, though, so sorry to all those who believe that an asteroid did it. Oh, Brandon Moore, same turn and another famous peak. And I do have to say, though, Cochran gave him a lane, but oh, man. They were going to hit regardless. I think Netcode might have had a wee bit of play there. I think. Not 100% sure, but nevertheless, they do make contact, and Antonio just know where to go. So while you were gone, Brian, I said we might likely see 3 more cautions at the 7th caution mark. We've seen 2 more. Are we going to get to 10? I was thinking after we didn't see as many cautions as we thought, I thought we might get at least to double digits, at least 10. I said 12, but then as this races went through time,
it looks like we might just get 10 cautions because 16 laps. We're going to get the restart around maybe 14, 13 here. So 14, 13 laps to go. So that's plenty of time for another caution. Tempers, short tracks bring out the best in everybody, Brian. You can really see people's true colors at super speedways and short tracks. Mile and a half's not so much, depending on if they're actually wanting to get that dub or not. What will you do, as they always say? What would you?
Klondike bar.
Yes, I was getting there. Thank you. So
Hey,
I miss those.
Cars gotta come by.
I miss those Casey Kane Klondike bar, Klondike, whatever.
Klondike?
Ice cream bar. Yeah, whatever. Commercials.
What
and then
would you do for a Klondike bar?
And he also did a vitamin water commercial. Man, I thought vitamin water was awesome because Casey Kane was sponsored by it, but then I never even drunk it. I just was like, vitamin water, yeah!
I do. That's all I drink.
That thing's still vitamin water's still around? Wow.
I drink the AAA.
Normally it's just...
That's a Michigan paint scheme on the 44.
I know, but it's Morton Salt Company. So actually, we're going to get the restart with 12 laps to go. Heck of a restart by Farmer. Elliott might have been caught napping ever so slightly, but never mind. He gets back to the back bumper. 3 wide, just about coming off of turn number 2. They might have been. As you see here, Keenan taking his nose and showing it. Oh, Brandon going to get a bump from Lee, and around goes Brandon.
Do you need anything to drink?
And we do get our 10th caution of the night. He tried saving it, Brian. You could really tell he tried, but once you get really that sideways, I'm all the time saying slideways. It just came out naturally. But once you get that sideways, Brian, with these low-profile tires, it's just almost no saving it. Yeah, in a way, bro did kind of knock him out the way, but they were, in a way, 3 wide as well. But 3 wide into these corners just never works. It never will. It never does. It worked for Nathan Lyon, Antonio Bonini, and Will Roberts behind him, but it didn't work for the 3 in front of them. So, which they were kind of 3 wide, not fully. It wasn't a full 3 wide, but still they were trying to give each other room, spatial awareness, and everything. But it's the final laps of this race, Brian. How much more? Excuse me. How much more room can you give? And
the problem was with the...
I can't stop burping.
With the Toyotas, they have that little point there because of the front of the car is flat.
Yes, sir.
So the tip of the right front got underneath Brandon. It's kind of just like the Chevys when you go to the super speedways. If you're going to push, you got to make sure you're hitting even. You can't quarter bump because the tip of the Chevys would hook the either the right rear or the left rear, depends on where they're pushing at. So, and unfortunately, that's what happened to Brandon Moore. Jaden, it's good to see you out there. Hello. Fellow B&R driver. in college. Good for him. But I wonder if that's karma coming back for Brandon.
I mean, karma could be coming back for Brandon after Brandon being a bit aggressive like Greg Elliott, I guess you could say, because Greg at times can be just as peaking and as aggressive, but you have to be aggressive. You have to show your nose. You have to try to fight and make those moves. If not, you won't go anywhere. You won't ever gain some ground. But at the same token, like you just said, it just could be karma coming back. Like I felt
Got
like
the
it.
choose
You know,
rule?
do they have a choose rule? No.
Yes.
Unless they just started doing the choose rule. I didn't know they had a choose rule.
No way.
Green flag.
Oh.
Yellow, yellow.
44.
Oh, so we might get 12 cautions after all, Brian, because this marks 11th caution. Oh man, JT just spinning the tires. I don't know if he got help from Keenan or if that was just all on him, and Keenan just kind of bumped him and helped him around. Like, oh man, JT was doing so well too. He was up here. He was in the battle. He was in the fray, and I'm going to say that's all on Jason right there. That is Jason. Hate to say it, but like we talked about, just like getting up out of these corners on the restart, you can't. It's so hard to armchair quarterback this or lazy boy recliner, quarterback it or race couch it, couch racing, so to speak. But it is easy to stomp on the throttle on these restarts, be possibly in the wrong gear. Some drivers prefer maybe to restart in second, Brian. How would you take the restarts here at Martinsville? Give us,
Second.
you have, okay, thank you.
I always. A lot of my restarts are second gear. But
Okay.
it all depends on the track, though.
I didn't share the stream tonight.
It's okay.
Wow. I forgot all about it.
It's alright. But second gear in a lot of these tracks, because you avoid stuff like that if you go in first. No? Okay.
The torque that these cars can produce, it seems to be far greater than the horsepower. Like if you was to probably get torque ratio compared to horsepower ratio, it is probably something.
Oh, you feel the spin in the tires.
I could only imagine. I bet you that's probably what was wrong with JT. He probably had it in first, if anything. He probably just had it in the wrong gear, like he talked about. Like it but it's so easy to do at Martinsville. Even back whenever we used to have manual restarts in our console leagues, right, over on console side of things. I hated restarting at Martinsville with manual cautions because, yeah, the same thing. Charlotte. Oh, let's not get started on that. But Atlanta
I remember that.
and Charlotte, nobody knew how to restart there.
Nope.
Pace car lights are off. It's peeling back to the safety and confines of pit road. Will this be the final restart, or will we see the 12th and possibly final restart, or do we get 15 somehow or another with the green white checkers? But anyway, here we go. Josh Farmer doesn't spin the tires there. No one really spins the tires here. Will Roberts makes it 3 wide, down a little bit further back, but Josh Farmer comes off the corner. Oh, Michael Cochran making it 3 wide now. Oh, man. Argy Bargy elbows out there. Wide elbows hit. Oh, Farmer's around. Farmer is around. Oh, and then Chris Stang goes off the nose of Bonini going into turn number 2. How did he go around? Is it off the nose of Greg Elliott? We're about to find out. Does he just get loose coming out of turn number 4? Greg Elliott approaching. He hits him. He's giving him a shot, and he doesn't let up. He stays all the way on him through the corner, Brian, and he just helps him around like it's Tilt-A-World. Oh, man. What a ride.
That's brutal.
Very brutal. One of the most dominant cars all night. One of the top 3, maybe 4 dominant cars all night. I talked about it. Keenan Miller, Greg Elliott, and Josh Farmer was the top 3 dominant cars I felt all night long, as Lionel would say. But it's not to be. It's not to be. For Josh Farmer, it looks like here tonight your pole sitter. And thank goodness we're not like Moon Car and we talk to people who just got collected in wrecks, because there's no doubt they're not happy with one another. I mean, aren't they both admins or something? Man.
Farmer's not. Elliott is.
Oh, man.
It's Elliott, McDonald, Bolton, Trzynski, and I want to say Ostrander. Yes, I was not sure of that. That's the reason why he said it. But I know it's Elliott, McDonald, I think Bolton, and Trzynski.
You know, the AMS Cup Series really reminds me of a lot of different things, to say the least. But
it's McDonald, Ostrander, Elliott, Miller, and Trzynski.
Like the COT era, almost like the boys have at it era, of just go at it. You know, just beat them up, bang them up, shake them up, rock them, sock them until you got no more left in you. So 12th caution, it's the one that I predicted. So you only have 2 green-white checkers. So, right? Or is it 3?
I think they get unlimited.
Oh, don't tell me that.
I think.
So, here we go for the restart again. Greg Elliott to the outside, Avery McDonald to the inside. That's the front row. Lee and Boughton, second row. Greg Elliott, another whole shot restart here. But can he fend off everybody?
Okay, it's 3 GWCs.
I thought it was only 3. Oh! So much going on back here. It's bumper cars, I tell you. But they're going to get to the white flag, I do believe. White flag. Are they? Oh, most definitely. White flag is out. There goes top contender number 2 out of the race. Got to get to Elliott as he's into turn number 3 and 4 for the final time. Avery trying to fend off Lee. Greg Elliott going to get the checkered here tonight at Martinsville. What an exciting, to say the least, race here at Martinsville. Man, oh man. elbows were out tonight. Really rock 'em, sock 'em, like I said. McDonald and Lee round out the podium finishers. And we're going to see what happened there to bottleneck a bunch of drivers. Chris Stang goes into turn 3 and 4 with a real good run. Oh, he gets to the back of Lee and gives him a shot, but for some reason that makes his car get really wacky coming off the corner. I don't know if he jumped on the brakes as soon as he gave Lee a shot or what, and everybody back here fighting, squabbling over positions, Farmer and Taylor, trying to get something that they lost earlier, but Nathan and Farmer get tangled and they come across the line backwards, so next week we will see who wins the AMS Cup Series championship for Season B of 2024 at Phoenix. It'll be 150 slaps around Phoenix. I almost want to predict as many cautions at Phoenix as we saw tonight, but it seems like every time they change Phoenix, they mess up another track, or like they kind of fix it, but they change. Anyway, just have to wait and see what's in store next week at Phoenix. So, Greg Elliott, Avery McDonald, Kane Lee, Michael Cochran, Adam Botten, Brandon Moore, Will Roberts, Chris Ostrander, Josh Farmer, Nathan Line, Chris Stang, Jason Taylor, Antonio Bonini, Keenan Miller, Dwayne Furtek, Michael Cochran, and Kevin Trzynski rounds out our field of contenders here. Congratulations to Greg Elliott getting the dub here tonight, Avery McDonald and Kane Lee getting the podium, and all the drivers competing, coming out and being a part of this race.
Yep, I guess they're having some conversation with some drivers down there.
Which that's always okay, and sometimes that's maybe for the best, and you think we should just go ahead and wrap it up, close up shop, or what should we do?
I don't even see P3 on, so I would probably say wrap it up.
Yes, indeed. So, like I talked about, next week we will be closing out the Season B championship at Phoenix. So, tune in next week. AMS Cup Series at Phoenix tomorrow. Truck Series action, being our Truck Series.
Oh, never mind. Greg's in there.
Where's the Truck Series at?
We're off.
Okay.
So we'll be back Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yes, okay. Greg Elliott going to talk to us tonight, race winner. It looks like, right? You said?
Yeah, he's down there.
All right. Let's pull him up.
Now I was just going over some of the rules there and looking at it, and oof, it's a tough one. So we're just going to say the unofficial results.
Yes, indeed.
So we're just going to say that. Because in the rules, I think it's under the boys have at it mark, they go down and kind of break down all that. So technically, I should say Farmer. Yeah. Yeah. But that's just my opinion. So we'll go ahead and I shall bring up
Oh,
the
cool. You
screen
can
right.
see the train track in the back. Oh, that is so cool. Man, when they laser scan. Greg,
What's up? How's it going,
what
guys?
is. Well, it's going. One of those, another nail biting paperclip races, so to speak.
Yes. I will say I apologize to Josh Farmer. We had a good battle there, and I was wanting to continue to have a good battle there, and I wanted to stay on his rear bumper and race him down into turn one. But I guess I rolled 3 and 4 just better than him. I don't know. Um, got into him and got him turned around. And it's not the way I want to win one, but needed a win, but not like that. Not how we do it. So I've already talked to him and let him know, it was not intentional at all. We had a good battle. I accidentally got into him in 3 early on in the race, and
Mm-hmm.
he paid me back for that in turn 1. I don't know if the broadcast caught it or not, but we had a good time. I love racing with Josh, and hate to turn him around for a win.
You, Keenan Miller, and Josh Farmer. I feel like I said it before before lap 100, right around the halfway point. I thought you three had probably the best 3 cars all night of the race. Just at the 100 lap mark, just analyzing the race so far, what we had seen, the little short green, the green flag medium-ish runs, I guess you could say, that we had seen between the cautions, right? That we had gotten. Is that kind of how you felt too, like Miller and Farmer, and then as the race went on, you saw drivers that had made a rebound that you hadn't seen all night, right?
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. I think that the 82 and the 46 and myself are probably the class of the field. I do feel like I had a little edge on them, but it usually took about 20 to 25 laps for that to show up. And there towards the end, you know how these Martinsville races are.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting that long run, unfortunately. I thought we were going to have it. I thought there was one time where Josh was in the lead and I was back, maybe half a second from him.
Yes.
And I was starting to make some progress on him. And as soon as that happened, caution came out. And then it was caution, 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 caution. So we got to clean it up, myself included. Like I said, I did not want to turn him. Didn't mean to, but I did. That's what happened. And, we got to win. We'll carry it on to next week.
Speaking of next week is the championship, possibly more than likely deciding race for Season B of the 2024 AMS Cup Series. Phoenix. What is that diamond in the desert supposedly? What's the battle plan going into Phoenix?
I'm gonna come into Phoenix and I'm just gonna run laps. I'll be honest with you, I'm not good there. I struggle with that track. I feel like I was a little bit better when it was flipped.
Right?
Yeah, and it's the same track, so I'm not sure what the difference would be.
I've got
But
another
I
question.
do feel like I was better when it was the other way around.
Did you like Phoenix also more so whenever there was also grass on the back straightaway? Like whenever it was flipped, it had that dog leggish, there was grass. I liked that. I
like both. I like both both version of it. But neither one am I good at. I think I was better at the old one, actually.
Right.
But it'll be interesting. It looks like Jason Taylor was going to have a good night tonight and make up a bunch of points on Brandon Moore, who was having some struggles. And then on the penultimate restart, Jason Taylor had some problems. And then the next thing you know, they're still running right by each other in the 14th place. So
yeah, they never could get away from each other.
I know. That was a weird turn of events. I thought for sure it would be a lot tighter of a battle going into Phoenix. Um, but hey, it's not over, and it's hard to say what'll happen next week. That'll be something to tune in for sure.
Exactly, that championship battle between those two wonderful and great drivers there. Final thought, shout outs, Greg, before we let you go.
Well, I just want to thank all the admin crew for trying to keep this show on the road and ride it in the correct direction. And I want to thank each and every competitor that shows up every week. And even if a lot of the guys know they're not in it right now for the championship, but they're just here to race with the buds every week. And I mean, what more could you ask for? We have a lot of close competition. A lot of these cautions that we're seeing this year that maybe we didn't see in years past is just because how close the competition is. Everyone feels like they can compete, and that's what we want. We just got to work on getting to know each other more and making sure that we're not making sure we can trust who we're running with and whatnot, and try not to bring out so many cautions.
10-4, Greg. That's good things to think about and good sentiments to speak forward to. Best of luck to you next week, the championship and season finale race this year. And thanks for talking to us tonight, Greg.
Thank you, and do want to shout out. Of course, I'm sure you'll talk to him. How about a second place for Avery? That's a good run for him. So proud of that guy.
Yes, sir. I don't want to say surprise effort, but
Not a surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's normally, if he can keep it clean, stay out of all the war and trouble through each and every race, he can really surprise you. Well, not necessarily, like you said, it's not a surprise. It's almost like those David Pearson drives, like he's there at the end of these races. So, let's get to talking to Avery. Go away, Greg. I'm just kidding. But, thanks for talking to us, Greg.
All right, man. Have a good night.
So, yes, let's try to get Avery down here, wrangle up McDonald and Avery.
What's good?
Yeah, what's good with you in the hood? Second place, man.
Oh man, we called the fire. We called the fire marshal. Told them we were gonna be on fire tonight, and they showed up. And I tell you what, man, we had a really good car. Ran in the top 5 the whole time, pretty much, and then kind of got moved to the back by Brandon. But we're all good with that. Just a simple mistake, and made her back up to 3rd. Thought I had a chance for back up to 2nd. Thought I had a chance for the win, but we'll take 2nd.
Yeah, just man, Elliott. Just all those restarts that he was the lead car in. He is just able to just get a good whole shot restart. Like I say, just about every time someone can get a good, maybe 5 car length maximum jump going into the first turn at any track, man. But leader has the advantage, especially at Martinsville, it seems like, as long as they don't spin the tires like we saw some drivers do tonight. As long as you don't spin those tires, which can be so easily done here at Martinsville, you can almost match, or maybe if you are the leader, like I said, man, you're great. But what like you said, you were pretty much in the top 5 tonight, just about all the time. But even being in the top 5, what were you struggling with tonight, Avery?
Just getting drive off. I was behind Kane quite a bit, and he was really quick on, had a lot of speed, and just he had a little bit better drive off than me, and I couldn't, try to enter in a little high and come underneath them out of 2 or out of 4. So that's kind of what I was struggling with a little bit. But, I was just trying to keep the car clean. I strive myself on being clean. I only had 4 incidents today. And I just, we're rolling around 3rd gear is what we could do, and just had a really good car. I mean, I feel like there's a couple of tracks I feel really good at, and Martinsville's one of them. So to come out with a 2nd place finish, I'm real happy with that.
Next week, Phoenix, the diamond in the desert, so to speak. What's the game plan going into the final race of this season?
Well, it's not one of my better tracks, and I'm currently looking for flights to go to Phoenix to see if Blaney can go back to back. At the moment, I'm not going, but maybe we will. But I'm hoping I'll be back in time for the race. But no, this is just a tough track for me. It's not just completely different than anything else. I was much better at the old Phoenix, but we'll give it our best shot like we always do.
Have you ever thought about trying to get a job in like TV, like NASCAR production, instead of being like the other sports production like you are? Or have you done that before in the past? Or, no.
I've never done like NASCAR. I've done some dirt racing stuff behind the scenes. I'm good with where I'm at now. Just we got high school volleyball coming on Saturday. 6 or 8. We got a lot of games coming up. I don't know how many we're doing, but no, I like what I'm doing. I like where we're at, being in the middle of Nebraska. But yeah, it'd be fun. I have a buddy that works for NASCAR Productions too, so I get to hear how things are going. So
right. I was just curious because you would. That would be an easier way to watch your favorite NASCAR driver, right? But yeah, man. Final thoughts, shout outs, anything else you might be able to take away from Martinsville? Take it to another. Phoenix can still be a short track, but Gateway in New Hampshire, really. So not too much you could take from Martinsville to Phoenix, right?
Not really. I mean, just the big thing is just having confidence going in, and
Right.
hopefully have a little bit of pace. But it's a cool track. I've been to Phoenix before. I went there when Logano won the championship, so it's a cool facility. It's maybe not always the best racing, but it's a really cool facility.
Final thoughts, shout outs, Avery.
Big shout out to all the admin staff, Chris, KT, Kenan, Greg, myself, no particular order, and everybody that shows up. We've been having a little bit of a rougher year than we normally have, but we got more drivers, and our Martinsville race is better than the one before. So I mean, we had a really good green flag run. Thank you guys for showing up and caring about the league and putting us on a good platform. But just everybody that shows up every week. I miss my boy Mazzella. I hope to see him in Daytona for the Rolex 24 this year. If you're still listening, buddy, we miss you. But I know you'll be back. So just thanks everybody for being a part of it. We're all here to have fun. That's the one thing to always try to remember.
Maybe I'm going to have to try to go down to the Rolex with you guys. Anyway, that's for a later note. Yeah, heck of a race tonight, and to say the least. So maybe we can get just another banger from you guys next week to finish out the year. So thanks for talking to us, Avery. Congratulations on the podium, bud.
Yeah, that's the goal. Thanks, Ben. Before I go, big shout out to my wife for supporting my habit.
Oh, always. Yes, sir. Got to give the wife a shout out always.
All right, sounds good, guys. Thanks, guys.
No problem, buddy. Now we can wrap it up.
All right. Yes, we didn't know what to do there at first, Brian, but that's okay. That's okay. So, like we always say, thank you to each and one of all the viewers and fans that come out supporting whatever race we are broadcasting here on the BNR Racing Network, whether it be AMS Cup Series, the actual BNR Racing, or SRU Xfinity Series, whatever it may be. Thank you for coming out, supporting, being a part. You know what? I'll tell you after the race. I'm sorry, but anyway, we hope you all to have a wonderful and safe day tomorrow. Getting out, if you do go vote in America. So until we see you Wednesday for the SRU